Thanks so much for coming out to our Friday webinars. So I want to cover a topic that we often hear about. I guess it's probably the number one thing that comes up in a meeting that I have with clients initially. And so I just want to run through this so that maybe we can clear up some misconceptions and make people understand what they're getting and what they're paying for. Often I'll sit down with a client and they'll say to me, I've had problems with insurance. Insurance in the past, it hasn't done what I thought it was going to do, and so we just don't believe that insurance is going to be able to achieve what we need it to, and I don't want to pay a bunch of money for something that's not going to do what you tell me that it's going to do. And that's a really valid concern. So what I want to do is I want to use a little bit of a comparison because this is typically how first meetings go, but I'm going to use it for a completely different industry because I think that it'll be a little bit easier to grasp. So this would be kind of how we would get in touch. So you'd say, okay, well, I heard you build fences, right? So I'm looking to build a fence. I have, we've been in our house for X amount of years and we're looking to upgrade, and this is what we're looking to do. And so I need a quote from you. And I'll say, okay, what do you need? And you're going to say, well, I have 3 other quotes and I need you to do better. And so, okay, so you need this quote to come in lower than the other ones. You're looking to have something that's price effective in place. Yeah, okay. And you tell me the fence has to be 5 feet tall. My property is 100 feet by 30 feet. And in all, we'll need about 160 linear feet of fencing. And okay, well, those are pretty good specifics, right? So I'm going to take that information and I'm going to get to work. And I come back and my quote's better, and you say, great, let's move ahead with the fence. So I come out, I build your fence, you're away from that. You take, the family, you go away for the weekend, and when you come back, I've got your fence complete. Here's your fence. And you say, okay, that's great, but we have a dog. And that dog's going to run right through that fence. So that's completely useless for us. And that's not going to give us any privacy from the street. Everybody driving by will be able to see us, look right into our yard. That has, we need this to be private. We're going to have kids playing in the backyard. We don't want everybody coming by and seeing what we got going on. And also, it's not going to meet any of the homeowners association standards, and we're going to have to tear the fence down. Now, you look at the fence and you go, okay, well, I mean, the fence itself is a beautiful fence, and it comes in lower than what you told me that your price was that you needed. And it's, exactly the same specs, right? The same height, the same length. So I don't see what the problem is here. Well, what we needed was this, right? This was what I had in my mind. This is what I thought that you were going to build, but the price for this fence was $3,000. So the real question is, which fence did you pay too much for? Well, clearly you paid too much for the fence that didn't work, right? Because at the end of the day, any strategy that you put in place for your business that doesn't help you to meet your goals and objectives is a waste of money. So what we need to start doing is like I said, these fences are great. They all meet the same specs. They both look beautiful, but they don't meet the specs that you had in place, and it doesn't meet the needs that you have to hit the goals of your company. Now, the benefit with a fence, and the reason that I use this comparison, is that it's easy to grasp. When you come home and you look at the fence that I built, you're going to clearly see that your dog can run through the other fence. You're going to clearly see that it doesn't meet the homeowners association standards. You're going to be able to see immediately that that fence does not meet your needs. However, here are two completely different insurance policies. How are you going to know when one of these insurance policies doesn't meet your needs? Well, you're certainly not going to know it by looking at them. I mean, they look almost completely identical, and they're filled with a ton of insurance jargon. And you're not going to run through every single document. At least most people aren't going to run through 99% of that document. And so you're not going to find out that one of these insurance policies don't meet your needs until it's way too late and a claim doesn't get paid out, right? So let me give you an example of where we run into this situation. And actually, we ran into it just this week. So we sat down with a potential client, and they were paying, X amount of dollars a month, and they'd said, I'm not sure what you can do for pricing, but this is what we're paying. If there's anything better that you can do. And we started to ask questions about the policies, and they were actually very diligent. They've been making sure that all the employees were enrolled on the plan properly. They were making sure that all the employees enrolling on the benefits plan had completed their medical insurability forms to ensure that everybody got as much disability insurance as they were qualified for, which, most employers don't go over and above and do things like that. They kind of will send it out in an email. But what ended up happening through asking questions was, okay, how do you as the ownership get paid? And we found out that the owners are paid 100% by dividends. Well, the disability insurance contract that they have in place will not cover dividends. So they've been paying full price for a disability insurance policy that has a 0% chance of ever paying out when they need it. Well, wouldn't that be interesting information to know, right? And so are you overpaying for disability insurance? Well, maybe I'm not going to be able to find you a lower price on your disability insurance policy, but I might be able to put a policy in place for you that's going to cover the income that you need to cover and pay out when you need it to pay out. So is that more valuable? And, at the end of the day, I would say that it is. So basically, the reason that we sit down and we have the process that we have with people is that it is crucial that we know what the goals and objectives of your company are, because any plan that we put in place has to be able to follow the goals, the objectives, and the values of your company, because that's going to allow us to make sure that when you do have a situation that comes up, that we are able to make sure that you're covered. And you're not going to run into a situation when it's too late, and then you're going to say, look, we've had problems with insurance companies. The God's honest truth is that insurance companies do 100% of what they say that they're going to do in their contracts. You don't have a problem with the insurance, you have a problem with the advice, because you need to make sure that you have somebody on your side who's going to run through all the details and make sure that the references in the contract meet your objectives as a company. So those are some of the, that's kind of what we focus on when we say, are you overpaying for benefits, or are you, is this the best situation for you to have in place? We might not be able to beat the sticker price that you have right now, but we might be able to put something in place that's going to better meet your objectives and pay out when you need to have it pay out. And, in my opinion, while that's